So I moved to Japan for a year, and something I've learned is that there is so much more to this place than its vending machines.
お待たせいたしました。今日もご利用くださいましてありがとうございます。次は水戸に
The Fukushima Coastal Trail is a 200-kilometer trail in the Tohoku region of Japan. Passing through 10 towns and cities, it is a long, continuous road made for people to experience the local culture, history, and nature. Known as home to disaster and devastation, an earthquake, then tsunami, then nuclear accident. These marks were left, and 13 years after it all, a group of us were invited to see it for ourselves by walking it.
What I find with walking is that it makes you slow down a lot, and so if you're running or cycling or driving, you don't pick up on the small things. When you're walking, you wave at the people from the window who are looking down at you and you start a conversation. You have a chat with someone in the sauna, in the onsen, right? And that becomes an interesting interaction. I think when you walk, you have these moments of connection that I think start to piece together a larger story of what's happening in Fukushima.
I have to ask the dumbest question that everyone's thinking, right? What does it mean?
Okay. It's gone up by 0. Oh, it's gone up!
Since the nuclear accident, there still is prejudice around visiting Fukushima. I mean, the radiation readers don't really provide much ease until you understand them. Our radioactive expert, what does this mean?
This means that here the radiation is about a typical background radiation, which you would get in a city like London, Seoul, New York. Actually, Colorado has usually double the typical background radiation. So
Really?
hiking in Colorado, you would get more exposure to radiation than here.
We heard it here first. When you visit this place, you gain an understanding that they still are rebuilding, and this trail is a way to rediscover it, to help with its recovery.
So this trail is a recovery project from the earthquake and tsunami because we were so badly devastated, we lost so many things, so many people. If we build this trail, then we can have more people or new people have a chance to come to Tohoku.
So the Fukushima Coastal Trail, it is predominantly road, but I do have this belief that the best way to understand a people is to walk the land.
吹野と言います。やっぱり景色ですね。この景色に惚れて、富岡に来たようなものですね。食堂と民泊を民宿って言ったらいいのかな、をやっています。
They have a restaurant and an accommodation right behind you. Welcome to Fukinoto.
The people who live here now, they're so much more than survivors. And it's why walking through is such a unique way to understand this.
It's not necessarily about the distance and the scenery. While it is still really beautiful, it's still got a lot to offer. For me, it's about meeting local people, about understanding what happened here 13, 14 years ago and how the region's changed, and looking towards what's coming in the future. I think there's a lot that's going to change in the next few years and decades, and it just gives you a lot of insight into what's happening here on the ground.
Well, here it's very drastic because like my perception of this area or my prejudice of this area is very different from what I experienced here. So this is an example where my ideas of a place were really changed a lot. So this is what makes this so special, the whole area, to hike here, Michinoku Coastal Trail, Fukushima Coastal Trail, because it's so different from what I thought and also what media tells you it is like.
Though we were only walking a section of this 200-kilometer trail, over the 2 days I would hear the phrase shizen or kanjiru. The literal translation meaning feeling awe in nature. But like most translations, it misses nuance. Shizen comes from Zen Buddhist thought. Shizen isn't simply nature, but how we as humans are interwoven with it.
It's the only trail that is a memorial trail of a natural disaster. And I think this is very, very fascinating. This makes it such an emotionally touching trail.
When you're walking, literally just walking from one place to another, which I've never really done in my life, in the same way anyway, you are at the mercy of the speed of how fast you're walking and at the speed of the group of people you're walking with. And in some way it is a freeing feeling because it gives you the power to know that when in doubt, you could just walk.
It's also who you walk with. We had such a good group and I loved the conversations as we walked. So it's just as much about who you walk with as it is who you meet on the trail as well, I think.
3, 2, 1, hoorah!
The coast of Fukushima, it's known as home to disaster and devastation. But 13 years after it all, there is new life. It is so much more than what happened here. And sometimes it just takes a little walk to experience it for yourself.
約5分停車します。発車までしばらくお待ちください。